Everyone's talking about this Miller commercial today. What if I told you it's not what it seems?
Looky, you're so bad.
So, first of all, the commercial is from March. The link for Miller Lite, the good shit, exists, but the content is gone. It only takes you to the regular Miller Lite homepage. However, some damn good memes came out of here from all this shit.
Here's a little known fact.
We saw what Bud Light did, and we decided to join in on the because you can't just enjoy things without woke ideology infecting it. Miller Lite is a beer that will leave a aftertaste in your mouth because we hate hot women.
I mean, it's just appalling. It sickens me. I woke up this morning, I was so in a rage about what they are doing.
Send any shit you got into Miller Lite, and they'll turn that into too. Oh.
Miller Lite, when you like the taste of shit.
Thanks to No Green Rocks at that video. Links are in the description. So, first of all, this is a stupid video, and it's asking for the destruction of Americana. If you were a kid in the 80s and 90s, you walked through gas stations, convenience stores, and there were all these posters plastered because that's when sex sold. There's a scene where they talk about going into your parents' basement and getting this memorabilia and sending it to them so they can make compost out of it. Look, I know some people that paid some good money for some 80s and 90s memorabilia from Budweiser. This stuff goes for serious money. The fact that they're asking you to go and take your parents' property and turn it into them is absurd. This is some of the stupidest stuff I've ever seen in my life. And now, of course, the chief marketing officer of Molson is your typical college-educated, I care about the current thing, woke woman. Not a shocker. If it was the current thing in the last 6 years, she supported it, donated money to it, shared it on social media. This is the person that made this decision. However, you have to ask yourself, why would a company hurt its image with its base customer? Miller, Budweiser, Coors. Their base customers are everyday working people. People that can't afford $20 for 4 beers. People that can't afford a $300 bottle of liquor. These are people making ends meet. They don't care about this stuff. But you have to wonder. You have to pull the veil back and peek around to see what's actually going on. Did Anheuser-Busch reintroduce this ad to try to hurt their biggest competitor? I don't think that's what happened. I really don't think that's what happened. We have to think bigger. What could keep companies that have fans walking out in droves and not buying their product, costing billions of dollars in stock value in days, but the company is doing just fine? How can Disney post losses for 3 straight quarters? How can comics be putting out the abysmal numbers that they're putting out and still be thriving? That's because there's a new player in town.
Larry Fink of BlackRock has predicted that in the near future, all investors will be using ESG, environmental social governance metrics, to help determine the value of a company. I'm worried we don't score well on everything from climate to diversity to inclusion.
ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance. It refers to the 3 key factors when measuring the sustainability and ethical impact of an investment in a business or company. This is what they're banking on. Now, there's a huge push for ESG company investment. You can look online, just type ESG investment. It'll bring up hundreds of articles from Forbes magazine, the Wall Street Journal, all this stuff. So they no longer want you to invest into a company that is making money. They want you to invest in companies that are making the correct decisions. And guess what? Your 401k is, your investment portfolio, your investment fund you have is doing it, whether you know it or not. So I decided to do some digging because I'm like, this is not sitting right with me. And I went to Molson Brewing Company, which is the parent company that owns Coors, Miller, and probably 50 other brands because they're just buying up every little indie IPA they can. I went to Molson's website and I typed ESG into their website, right into the search bar. And this is what I get. Now, this is the bottom of the page. Who can't agree with this? Just the bottom of the page. Who can't agree with this? Environmentally friendly products, environmentally friendly ways of doing business, less water. Come on. Miller and Budweiser really need less water. That's all good. And then you scroll to the top of the page and you get to the diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's the bad stuff. That's the reason your movies suck. That's the reason your comic books suck. That's the reason your TV shows suck. And that's the reason why your beer company sucks. Let's go check out InBev. Since Budweiser is no longer an American-owned company, they are owned by InBev, which is a global company that owns thousands of beers. And here we go. Beer is inclusive. I didn't think beer wasn't inclusive. I think there's a lot of people that drink beer regardless of race, creed, or color. And then we scroll through. There's that gender word. There's that gender word. And here we have the equity. These companies are all having bad business practices in our eyes. So how can these companies take these losses and stay in business, not start selling stuff off, make a profit, bring stock prices back up, do things like that? Why are they not doing it? Because the losses are calculated. They knew when they announced this stuff, they were going to take a hit. This is all calculated. They expect those purchases to come back, and then they're going to get new purchases off of what they just did. That's the whole goal of business. Sometimes you got to take a hit to make more money. So these companies are expecting ESG to carry them through the next decade or so, until the next big thing. There's all these market research groups that are manipulating data, advertising companies that are manipulating data, saying if you do this, if you do that. Because we all know if you pay for a scientific research paper and you pay enough money, they're going to tell you what you want to hear. Now, we're dealing with corporate stooges, and they are corporate stooges. They're college-educated idiots. If you present them with enough data that says they are going to make money, it is going to increase stock prices in 7 or 8 quarters, not right now. It's going to be a bigger company in a year and a half. They're going to do it. They're going to sucker in. I don't know if you've ever worked for a big corporation, but when they try to implement stuff on the ground level and the ground level people tell them, no, this isn't going to work, they do not know what to do. And I'm talking high level, low level. They don't know what to do. They've never been told no. In the corporate world, you click your heels, you turn around, and you keep walking and you proceed. That is how they run. Now, I'm not trying to blackpill a single person here, but I will say this. If you're going to boycott a company, boycott the company. Vote with your wallet. Don't go back because it's convenient. Remember a couple years ago, I think it was Nike that said they were a Chinese company. They really didn't care about America. And people stopped buying Nikes. You know, they went and bought their Adidas. They bought their New Balance, Reeboks, or whatever. Then they went back and bought Nikes. So Nike was right. Nike said, you'll come back. That's the point. You have to walk away. If it's not convenient, if it bothers you, keep fighting. It's called a fight, not because it's easy. If you can keep the boycotts going long enough, or if you just stop voting with your wallet, sooner or later they will feel the backlash when they don't get that return number. And that is what needs to be shown to them. And maybe, hopefully, some of these companies will get over ESG. But that's the key. You have to break that calculated risk. That's what I got for you. I'm Wookie Be Bad. Have a good evening.